Hi, I'm Elemi from Yeyeo Botanica. Welcome back. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for the participation, great comments, sharing us with others. I want to shout out my people from Brazil. Woohoo! Thanks for your participation and being involved in our channel, subscribing and sharing us with others. Today, have a wonderful subject for you. Remember, we're www.yeyeo.com. We're a spiritual and wellness supplier, which is why we do videos about all things spiritual. Today, our video is about things to know before you pick your spiritual path. Or, while you're on the path, now things to keep in mind. So I'm going to share with you guys some things I wish I knew that I hope will be really helpful for you. So, remember, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications in the description box below, join my exclusive YouTube family list, and if you want to be in the know, hit that bell for notifications. So let's get started. So one of the reasons why I decided to do this video is because I've been reading for so long and I've heard this question I could easily 100 times. And I was thinking about it the other day and thinking to myself, this I think would be a great thing to talk about just because I'm always called to answer this question. And so maybe you guys will benefit from the answer, but also it'll help me to maybe even clarify my answer a little bit more. But today I wanted to share with you things that I wish I knew when I was really clear that I was on a spiritual path. Because for me, just as a sidebar, I've been a spiritualist all my life, right? I've believed in the source. I was really connected to the source in a very intimate way. I didn't need terms, names, any of that to know that I was really connected, and I felt that connection. But I realized that I've always kind of been on the path, and I didn't really know when I got on the path. Only after I started practicing, trying out different modalities, started having different kinds of altars. I mean, I've had Hindu, Jewish, African, oh my gosh, Asian, the list goes on and on. I've had all different kinds of altars all my life. And I realize now in mentoring a lot of people and initiating people is that there are times that we actually consciously make a decision, I'm getting on the path, or I've had an awakening, so now it's time to choose something, so to speak. But I want to say, if you get nothing else out of this video, the path oftentimes chooses you. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some things to keep in mind in committing to your path, right? Because you may choose a path and then you go, I'm not really sure about this, right? Or you're choosing the path, but you're not clear, or you get to this place where you kind of get stuck. It's like, oh, I started doing this. Maybe I started dabbling in crystals. I put an altar up. Maybe I started doing some spiritual things. And then, okay, now I'm sitting here for a year. What do I do? Right? So one of the things that I would say, the first thing that I would share with you all is you first need to know what attracts you. And so I say that to say, you need to be clear about, oh, does it feel like being outside? Does it feel like sitting by a window? Does it feel like bathing? Does it feel like candles? Does it feel like crystals? ... I think that that's really a good first place to start, because some people try to jump into like the complex stuff. Well, complex stuff is maybe people who have been studying a little bit, practicing a little bit, and now they have an understanding of how these things kind of come together. But if you're really enamored with all the bells and whistles, you can kind of get lost in that really quickly, right? So it's really important to kind of look at what attracts you. If you're a person who is involved in church, if that is your world and that just gives you the boom, I'm waking up, I'm going to go sit, I'm going to pray, I'm going to feel the energy, then stay with that, right? It doesn't mean that you can't incorporate other things into your spirituality. However, that's your core, right? If you're a person that you're interested in more shamanistic type of ways of being, whether it be from American Indian, South American and Central American Indians, Caribbean, African, whatever, again, that's a clarity to know. But when people say to me, oh, I don't know, I'm not really sure which one it is. Well, I think that if you do a little bit more work, you'll at least be able to tighten it up to know, okay, I'm really interested in being a little bit more free, or I'm interested in having a little bit more structure. Those of you guys who have not watched my video, African Religions, watch this before you join. Watch that video, because that's really focused on people who want to participate in traditional African practices, versus this video today is really about people in general, really coming from all different walks of life, how to kind of get clarity about your spiritual path. And so the next thing is access. I have to say, between attraction and access, really, really important. And so I want to speak a little bit about people who go and get initiations or go through ceremonial rites in really obscure traditions. I have one of them. I know what that feels like. However, I found my own way to be able to practice and enjoy my practice. But sometimes we get introduced to different things that it's so hard to keep it up over a long time, right? If you may start out when you're really young, but what happens when you're in middle life or older life, it's kind of like, well, how do I practice? How do I still enjoy this? How do I still incorporate this into my lifestyle? So I would say access that also ties into the tools of this particular whatever that you choose, right? So that is very important, because if you don't have access, you're going to be limited in your learning. You can only learn but so much in books, but so much in videos, but so much in classes, but being around other like-minded people is going to make a difference. And so when you talk about like-minded people, that really leads to this conversation of community, right? And so some people like to just work in isolation, totally fine. Other people like to work within the context of a community. Again, watch the video before you join, right? So not all spiritual paths have a community. If you're a person that you go, again, to church, there's a community. Whether or not you choose to engage in that, any kind of tradition that has a meeting place that is a regular meeting place, a mosque, a synagogue, church, whatever, right? That how much you choose to participate is really up to you. When you're in traditional shamanistic traditions, like a term that I love to use that I kind of came up with some years back, is Afro-shamanism, right? We're African traditionalists, and that's another form of shamanism, whatever term you want to use. But in those traditions, it's their rules and their boundaries, but it feels so much more organic, right? Again, you need to look at, what do you like? Access, community. Is this a very stable community of people? And you like that stability. Anything that has to do with growth, stability is really important. Mental, spiritual, any kind of growth, stability is like number one. Because if you're unstable, it's going to be difficult for you to learn, for you to express yourself, feel it, so to speak, and grow with it. Separate from that, I would have to say, along the community conversation is the mentor, right? So this person who can help you not only incorporate these tools, how to use them, how they reflect themselves with you, but also how you can use the tools to empower yourself. So like for me, I didn't really understand all of that oh, the spirit can help you work with yourself, kind of help you resolve personal issues, blah, blah, blah. I didn't understand any of that. I didn't even think about that. So I would say that that's something that comes up. If anyone in the description box below, definitely, the comment box below, definitely comment if you'd like me to kind of give you a little spiel about how I came into this wonderful spiritual world. But I would say that's something to keep in mind. The mentor, is this a person who you need to see all the time? Is this a person you need to speak to once a week? Is this a person who you are more interested in what they know than how often you can see them? I mean, there's now being able to FaceTime and do all these different things where you can see people without necessarily being in their company. Can you afford a mentor? Can you afford access, right? So what does that mean? It doesn't mean that you're spending this lots of money. It means that you're really affording to invest in yourself, right? So we invest in ourselves through time, through energy, through doing spiritual things, participation, learning, blah, 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 right? So it's important to really be clear. Am I ready to invest in myself? Because there are a lot of times I've met people, oh, they're so pumped up. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to do that. Do you have the time? Because time is a form of investment. Do you have the resources? Form of investment. Do you have the space? Form of investment, right? So just as a sidebar, I have someone that I've been working with for a while now who's ready to kind of take some serious steps in the tradition. But the person lives with family members who are like, X, whatever spiritual thing you're doing, we're not for it, right? So now this person's actually moving so that they can freely have access within their life to grow and have privacy with whatever it is that they're doing. So those are just things to keep in mind. And one of the last things that I would have to say is, how does this feel to you? Does it make you feel comfortable? Does it make you feel happy? Does it make you feel accepted? Does it make you feel empowered, enriched? Is it that whenever you do ritual or pray or whatever you do, does it make you feel full? If spirituality and religion does not fill you and make you somewhat excited about doing it or eager in some way, I would have to say you may want to question whether or not that's the right path that you've chosen for yourself. And just two sweet things for the end is, sometimes when you do your DNA, it's also going to tell you, oh, yeah, I was always interested in that. I never knew why I was. Now I know as a result of my lineage or anything like that. And the last thing that I would say for myself, when I did a live some time back, I talked about that I've been a Buddhist for a long time. I've been a Buddhist since 1990. And people go, well, how could you be? I could be whatever I want. You could be whatever you want. There's nobody that's telling me what I can't be. So for yourself, whatever you feel, however you incorporate the divine, incorporate the divine. As long as it's not hurting anyone else, disrespecting other people, hurting your family, hurting you, and it's enriching you, it's filling you, and it's doing what it needs to do, that's all that's important. But I say that to say, in Buddhism, it says, prove it. And you guys who've been watching my videos know I'm a prove it girl. So the tradition or the spiritual path, religion, whatever term you want to use, that you choose should prove it to you. If it's not proving it to you, I would either question, 1, your methods, 2, who you're learning from, and 3, is it the right thing for you, or and 4, are you applying yourself? So I hope, my people, that you got a lot out of this video. I love you guys. Be blessed. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And see you next time. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like us, share us with others, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and come visit us in the store. Check us out on all social media. See you next time.